This will be like some awareness talk, because no, I can't be more technical because you're all from the education department, from that discipline. So I'll take up some of the things, thereby we could have some discussion also. If you have any doubts, I'll like to clarify all the things. Only my intention is to reach to give holistic, what the concept of holistic health. So, according to WHO, the WHO has given a definition of holistic health. Who is healthy? For that definition, hope none of the individual on this globe, Earth, will fit into the WHO definition. Because WHO says healthy individual means not only the physical health, the health should be mental health, social health, sexual health, and finally 2015 it has revised the definition. A spiritual health is a new addition. That means complete holistic health includes all these different components, and it is very difficult to have all these components in an individual. We can't expect. If they are physically healthy, they might be having the mental health issues, and both physical and mental, if they are okay, sound, but they may not be having the social health and spiritual, like that. One or other component will be missing. And holistic health and environmental impact. What is the impact of the environment on this? Let me brief about that. So first of all, you must be knowing during COVID, during that especially second wave of COVID, many people have succumbed. Physically, they were fit. They were doing all physical activities and a good diet, everything. In spite of that, many of them, they succumbed. And it was a really shocking thing for everyone. We never knew that they die due to this infection. But it is because of the genetic makeup of an individual. Even some of them, even though they were infected, but they don't develop any, even no asymptomatic. They don't have any symptoms. So simply they were roaming everywhere and spreading the problem, all these things. So we are aware of these things. So on this earth, all health issues like diseases or the disorders, everything has a genetic component. Without genetic component, we can't expect any disease has to occur, exist. Especially, excepting some fever, cold, except those things, all health issues, whether it is obesity, diabetes, thyroid, PCOD, infertility, cancer, asthma, constipation, and cardiac problem, you name anything, everything has a genetic component. Genetic component means the genes which we have carried from our ancestors. So the thing is, whether they share, whether they transfer the properties or not, we don't know. If they are fortunate, they will get. But sincerely, they will give their defective genes. It will be sincerely transmitted from generation to generation, whether we like it or not. For example, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, thyroid problem, all these things, without our knowledge, we will carry these problems from our ancestors. Please put off your this one, mobile. Okay, so let me, I'll just brief about what is genetics, how it has been carried out, and what are the genetic disorders, and how it is relevant to us. Such things I just want to highlight. So I told you genetic disorders, these are the medical condition caused by mutation of genes. All the diseases, whether it is obesity, diabetes, type, whatever may be, it is because of the mutation in our genes. What is mutation means? It is a change, that's all. There is a change in our genetic material. So what are those genetic material? So our body is made up of trillions of cells. So like how the building is made up of bricks and cement, all these things, like that our body has trillions, approximately trillions of cells. Inside the cell, there is a nucleus. And inside the nucleus, there are chromosomes. These are the one, it is very definite for all organism, whether it is a human, dog, donkey, chimpanzee, rat, Drosophila, plants, anything. For each individual on this earth, they have a definite number of chromosomes. The number is very, very precise. There is no increase or decrease in the number. Even the structure of the chromosomes are always, they are very definite. So if by chance, if there is any increase or decrease, that leads to lot of health issues. In humans, we have 46 chromosomes. That means 23 chromosomes comes from father through sperm and 23 chromosomes from mother through egg. When egg and sperm, when they fertilize, when they fuse, the zygote will be having a 46 chromosome. So one set of chromosome from father and one set of chromosome from mother. So humans have 46 chromosome, that is 23 pairs. In chimpanzee, the number of chromosome is 48. Just two number changes in chimpanzee. That means see the difference between human and the chimpanzee. Lot of, you can't imagine, but we knew that they are the ancestors from great ape, chimpanzee, orangutan, gorilla. Chimpanzee has a direct relation, and human evolution, if you look at the human evolution, we are all evolved from these chimpanzees. And in rat, it is, the number is 40. Imagine where is human and where is rat. Just 6 chromosome difference between rat and humans. Like that, these chromosomes have a DNA. You must be knowing now, because of the COVID thing, everyone knows COVID virus is a RNA virus. So DNA and RNA, they are the genetic component. So some organisms have a RNA, especially virus. Other than virus, we don't have any organism with a RNA as a genetic material. Everywhere, all the organism has a DNA as a genetic material. Here, if there is any change in the chromosome inside, this is the chromosome. If you just go through the diagram, inside the chromosome, there is a DNA. This DNA is like a thread-like structure. It is wound around to have a support. It is wound around histones. They are nothing but the proteins. So thereby, if you just pull out the DNA from our body, from humans, from all the cells, the length, if you join all the DNA, then the length is, it is equivalent to that approximately. You can go to sun and come back. You can just Google and find out what's the distance between Earth and sun. Such a far distance, and that is the length of the DNA. That much of DNA we have in our body. And what is DNA? It is a genetic material. It has a message. That's all. DNA has a message for everything. For every function of the body, DNA has a message. To produce any protein, whenever we need hormones or proteins or whatever, hemoglobin, myoglobin, anything in our body, in an organism, it is the message hidden in the DNA. The message will be decoded as a mRNA, and from the mRNA, protein synthesis. Proteins are synthesized, a process called a translation process. So what happened here, to develop a disease, the message will be corrupted. So you must be knowing, you're all familiar with computers. If there is any corrupt, if the message is corrupted, then it gives a different message. The message what we wanted will be corrupted. It is not the message what we wanted there. So that's why how these message will be corrupted in the DNA, it is because of the environment. Now, nowadays you must be knowing. So we are living in the world of toxins. Everywhere toxin. So even when you inhale oxygen or the air, then lot of toxins will inhale. And when you drink water, even it is a Bisleri water, it has more than 250 nanoplastics in the Bisleri water. That is a water, purified water from the water bottle. And whatever you take, any food, it has a coloring agent, preservatives, insecticide, pesticide, herbicide, all these things, and coloring in food additives, Ajinomoto, lot of these things. So food is completely adulterated. So we are taking toxins, lot of toxins we are taking, and these toxins, some of these toxins, they are capable of changing the message present in the DNA. That's what happens. So when we consume the junk food, the food street, that is a fast food, and the food with a lot of pesticide, coloring agent, preservatives, then what happens? That will alter the message in the DNA. DNA will be corrupted. Thereby it gives the protein, which is not a good protein, which is a truncated protein, protein of no use. Otherwise, protein which we don't want at that point of time. So as a result, so the cells in our body will be regulated very well. And always I used to tell everyone that always we think outside. We are extroverts. We are not introverts because we don't know anything about our human body. Always we appreciate eight wonders of the world, the China Wall we appreciate, Taj Mahal, but we never knew that our body is itself, it is a wonderful thing. It's a mesmerizing, all the mechanism. If you look into our body, definitely you'll be shocked. Definitely you'll not be knowing all the things, mechanisms or the processes in our body is so accurate, perfect to the core. That is, it won't miss anywhere. It won't stop. Heart never stops beating from the fetal condition till death. Until now, we don't have any mission or the motor which will run continuously for years together. So this is the mesmerizing. Our body is mesmerizing thing. How it process, how it, the accuracy, all these things, when we go to molecular level, it is a really astonishing. We never thought that inside our body all these things are going on. So the external factors, even though, then the next question, you pose another question. So we are taking all these things, still we are healthy. How is it possible? Because we have a lot of defense mechanism in our body. Every step in our body, it will be cleared. All the cleansing will be done. If there is any damage, it will be repaired immediately. There are a lot of pathways acting, and each pathway will take care of these things. It will detoxify. Liver, sir, you must be knowing, it will detoxify everything. If you take a consume toxin also, it will detoxify some extent. But if it is an overdose, then we can't help. So like that, every step, there is a cleansing, detoxifying, repair mechanism will operate always. So that's how, even though we consume all these things, still we are healthy, but we don't know when the entire thing will collapse. So that's why we should have a basic knowledge, what to eat, how to eat, and how we have to keep a good health. All these things are very, very important. And in our surrounding, there are a lot of elements or the substances which causes damage in the DNA. They are called as a mutagens, which causes the mutation. Mutation is there is a change, inheritable change in the DNA. And similarly, there are carcinogen. Everything, everywhere we can see the carcinogen. Carcinogens are the elements or the substance which causes cancer. Physical, chemical, biological agents are there which causes cancer. Like teratogens. Teratogen alter the development of the fetus. So teratogen, mutagen, carcinogen, these are all the chemicals which are present in our surrounding, and it will affect our system. So it will alter the DNA or the message in the DNA. So together, all the diseases put together, we could classify them into 5 groups. Okay, so except fever, cold, those are not genetic disorder. Other than that, you name anything, all the diseases has a genetic background. So first category is a Mendelian. Just I give some idea about what are these genetic disorders, that's all. So Mendelian disorder. Second is a polygenic and cytogenetic and mitochondrial disorder and genetic imprinting. So here, what exactly the Mendelian disorder in the sense, if I told you there are trillions of cells in our body and we have 30,000 or approximately 30,000 genes are there. If there is a change in one gene, that is a single gene, and in that gene, there are a lot of the messages like alphabets, ATGC, ATGC in the DNA. By chance, if there is a change in only one alphabet, imagine that results into a disease. Then it is unimaginable. Like that, we have how many such letters in our body, in our DNA. Small change, alteration, instead of A, if it is T, instead of G, if it is C, even that is enough to develop the disease. That is called as a Mendelian disorder or the single gene mutation, a small change and a large effect. Effect is too much. From head till toe, the baby or the individual has a lot of health issues, but the change is very small, but effect is large. That is a one category. It is very, very important. Every common man Even layman should know what is this, because it is always associated with the consanguineous marriage. That means the marriage between the relatives. Always, as a genetist, I never entertain consanguineous marriage. Generally, especially in our Indian context, we prefer this consanguineous marriage, means marriage between the blood relatives. So in Hindus, there is a cousin, there is a uncle this marriage. In Muslim, there's a cousin marriage. In each religion, one or other point, we have a that is the marriage within the group or the relatives, like that. So generally, as a genetist, I never entertain that consanguineous marriage, because what happened, I told you, 23 pairs of 23 gene, that's a chromosome comes from mother, 23 from father. So in to develop any disease in the Mendelian disorder, majority of the Mendelian disorder, to develop the disease, there must be changes happens in both the copies. The copies from father and copies from mother. Then only the baby or the person will develop the disease. If there is one copy is wrong and another copy is proper, normal, then the person won't develop the disease. And we don't know how many mutations we had, but all the mutations are in one copy. That's why we don't develop the disease. We look very healthy externally. Physically, we are healthy. But in our genome, we don't know how many mutations we had, but all in single copy. If there are two copies, then the person will develop the disease. Why there shouldn't be marriage between relatives? Because what happened? If sister and brother, if they had the mutation, then what happened? Sister daughter, when she get married to her uncle this marriage, in those things, then the boy will be also having the changes in his genome, that is in the chromosome or in the DNA, and the girl will also has the both the copies are abnormal. Thereby the children, that is giving birth to abnormal children, the chances are very high. Out of 4 children, if they give birth to 4 children, then one child will be normal, 2 will be carrying the disease to next generation, and 1 will be abnormal. So the chances are more. But if they get married to somebody else who is not relative, then the chances are remote, because they have only one copy, and with one copy, they don't develop the disease. Second category is a polygenic, means not one gene. There are so many genes has to undergo changes, then only the person will develop the disease. And multiple gene mutation effect is small. And all the diseases, majority of them, they fall into this category. They come under this umbrella, because all the diabetes, obesity, thyroid, cancer, PCOD, male infertility, you name anything, asthma, constipation, whatever. So all those things comes under this polygenic, means so many genes has to undergo mutation, and because of that, they develop the disease. And the third category is a cytogenetic. I told you the number of chromosomes in an organism should be accurate. There shouldn't be any change in the number as well as the structure. And if there are any changes, then naturally the person will develop the disease. Next is a mitochondrial. Always mitochondrial disease comes from mother only. Even the father is normal if mother has a mitochondrial disorder, because always the mitochondria, what we have, everyone on this earth, mitochondria in our bodies from mother, not from the father. Okay, because what happened in the father, in the sperm, only the DNA will enter into the egg. That's all. So not other, no other cell organelles. So always, if we are very energetic and always good, then it is from the maternal side. Mitochondria always from mother. So, and genetic imprinting means nowadays lot of research is going on, because our environment has an impact on not only the changes in the DNA, even I told you, there is a proteins. Here, these are the proteins present. DNA is wound around, it is just wrapped. If there is any change in the protein also, which causes the silencing of the gene will be silenced, it will not be expressed. So now people are working a lot about that, and even they are telling that that is mental status of the pregnant female decides the health of a baby. Pregnant female, not only physical health, she should have a very strong mental health. Then only the babies will be very strong, mentally very strong. And all these things, how it will be, because that is a music therapy they are telling, and food, good diet, all those things. So that will alter the proteins. Even by altering the protein, even we could change the expression of the gene. That's a new concept, and lot of focus on this entire globally. Lot of research is going on. That's the epigenetic. Beyond above the genetics, lot of work is going on. How we can change our genes by altering our diet, lifestyle, hobbies, all the such research is going on. So I told you about single gene disorder. I skip off all this because it will be too much technical for you. So these are all some of the diseases, generally genetic disorder. Even we can make out these onset of the disease by if there is any change in the color of the urine or the fecal matter. Because urine, fecal matter, these are the indicators that there is something wrong. Even by just by looking into the urine, we can predict that whether the person has jaundice, whether the person has internal bleeding, all these things. If the urine color is yellowish, there must be some infection, means it might be infection or jaundice. And if there is in pink tinge in the urine, then the internal capillary breakage, capillaries in the inside, because we can't see all these things, no. So they'll break and the blood will leach into the urine. So all these things we could make out just by observing the urine. That's the excretory material, whether it's a fecal matter or the urine, etc. I'll skip off all these things. So what are the, I told you, chromosomes. In humans, there are 46 chromosomes. You can see here, these are all the colored. This is the karyotype of human chromosome. In all of us, whether we are Indian, Caucasian, Negroid, whatever, if we are humans, Homo sapiens, then all of us must have 23 pairs of chromosomes. So when we arrange all the chromosome, you can see the color of the chromosome. We are giving the color thereby to identify these chromosomes. So here, I told you 23 pairs of chromosome and from each parents. And I told you, no, this is the chromosome basis of sex determination. That's a concept. All the organism, apart from in the chromosome, we have autosomes and sex chromosome. Autosomes means they will take care of everything in our body. All the processes in our body will be taken care by the autosomes. Sex chromosome meant for the reproduction, to determine the sex of an individual, to identify whether he's a male or female, or sometimes ambiguous. So outside, when you observe, no, if you just, they have ambiguous genitalia, they have a testis, they have a vagina, then it is very difficult to find out whether the person is male or female. Then what they do the karyotyping or chromosome test. Thereby, phenotypically, whatever they are, but genotypically, whether they are male or female, such things will be identified by the individual. So, females have XX, 2X chromosomes, and males have XY chromosome. Earlier days, even till now in some rural area, if only female children, no, then always the scolding or the blame to lady only, because but females always has X chromosome, no other option. But males have X and Y. If the sperm is having a X chromosome, then the baby will be female. If the sperm having a Y chromosome, then the baby will be male. So it is the males who is responsible for the sex of their children, not the female at all. So here, in all organisms, whether it is a human, grasshopper, or any insect or cock or hen, birds, even honeybee, they have a definite number of chromosomes. So there shouldn't be any variation in the number, structure, everything. Any variation happens, it is a disease. It is not normal. But there's an exception in plants. So here, these are the sex chromosome in humans, X and Y. I told you, no, see the size of the X chromosome. X chromosome is always very lengthy and Y chromosome is very, very short. And why so? Because the Y chromosome has the only function is reproduction. production of sperms, that's all. But the X chromosome has several other functions. Apart from the sex of the individual, it has many other functions. Lot of genes are present in the sex chromosome, X chromosome, which will determine, which will decide many other character of the individual. But what happened earlier, when we look into the evolution of these chromosomes, Y chromosome was the size of the X chromosome, but everything is redundant. Rest of the part in the Y chromosome was of no use. So gradually what happened during the course of evolution, there's a reduction in the size of the Y chromosome. So in nature, there's a principle in nature, always the organs or the system which is of no use, nature will gradually make that system deterioration. That's why always I used to tell everyone, be very active. Otherwise, what happens? No, we might develop a neurodegenerative disorders if we are always no. If we don't be active, if we are always if inactive, then what happened? There's a the chances are very high that they might develop neurodegenerative disorder. So that's why many of them know after retirement, if they are not engaged in any work, they may end up with a lot of dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer, Huntington, lot of that is a memory loss disorders. Those who are even after retirement, until then they'll be busy. After that, they'll be at home. So they should be active. Then only we can prevent the degeneration of the neurons. So like that, earlier it was a large, then it has started reducing its size. And throughout the globe, scientists, they were very much worried. They were thinking, what happened if completely Y chromosome degenerate? There is no life on the earth. But it won't happen, because that's a life has to continue on the earth, and it has reduced, and further there is no reduction, because now even 3/4 of the Y chromosome is redundant, but remaining portion has the genes which are meant for sperm production, quality of the sperm, functional capacity of the sperm. All those things are decided by the Y chromosome. So I told you, there is any alteration in the chromosome number or the structure, that results into a lot of complication, mental retardation, deaf and dumb, and even the size of the head will be macro. That is, our size was huge, our head size is small, and abnormal facial feature, abnormal limbs, or abnormal body feature. All these things because of there is a change or the errors in the structure of the chromosome or the number of the chromosome. So here, why such things happens? Why there is an alteration happens in the number of the chromosome? It is the process called as a non-disjunction. Means the chromosome has to separate equally on two daughter cells. If it won't happen, then one cell has more chromosome and one cell has a less chromosome. This is abnormal thing. Okay, here it should be two, from one from father, one set from father, another set from mother. But here instead of two, it is 3, and here lacking, one is absent. Here more, n plus 1 and n minus 1. So here this is normal. This is how it should be. But now this is abnormal. Such abnormalities should sometimes it will happen during the formation of the eggs or the sperms. So what are the reason? But such things are very, very common in plants. In plants, what we are getting commercially hybrid, the number of the chromosomes are multiplied many times. Diploidy is the normal condition. Triploidy 3 times. Tetraploidy 4 times, increase in the number. Pentaploidy, hexaploidy, heptaploidy, decaploidy, like that. When you increase the number by manipulation, then what happens? That is the fruit will be huge size and more juicy, more economic, like that. There are a lot of advantage in case of plants if there is any changes in the chromosome number. But such things, if it happens in human, end up with a disease, either cancer or genetic condition, abnormality, mental retardation, all those things. I told you not only the number, even the structure of the chromosome. Here the message is, see, read the message. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. This is normal. There is a deletion, means there is a loss. A, B, C, E, F, G, H. There is a D is lost. So then the message is lost, means the messages might be very important for our body. So if it is missing, then we develop disease. And the message duplicates anything, we shouldn't have extra. Always, whatever the quantity required, only that much we should have. Duplication means increase in the number, also dangerous, causes cancer. Inversion, the position, if it is flip off in 180-degree, then what happened? The message won't give a proper meaning in the DNA, so it results in some disease condition. Reciprocal, from message from one chromosome moves on to another chromosome, thereby it gives abnormal information and person ends with a disease condition. And I just focus on, you have seen these children in your college or schools or wherever possible surrounding also. This is called as a Turner's syndrome. Generally, I told you, females, there are two X chromosome. But here, females in the condition having only one X. And another X is missing. So generally what happens, they don't develop the menstruation. That is called as amenorrhea. They don't develop the menstruation. There is no breast development, and they don't have any pubertal change, menstruation, no, all those things. I mean, intellectually, they are school dropout. They have some abnormal behavior. And we can expect such births out of 5,000 children, one child may be having this kind of problem. And this is, see, these are all not kids. They are almost 12 years, 14 years age, but underdeveloped. And see here, there's a webbing of the neck. So these external feature tells that whether the person is normal or abnormal. As a genetist, I could make out if I see any person, whether they have a problem or not, based on the anthropometric measurement. That is the facial feature and all these body features. They have a small head, microcephaly, larger head, macrocephaly, and the position of the eyes, position of the ear. The distance, see here, the distance between the nose and the upper lip is too lengthy. It shouldn't be like that. And the distance between the lower lip and the chin is too lengthy. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, and the webbing of the neck, no development of the breast, and all these things, it is because of loss of one of the X chromosome. There are so many such children are there. And even in rural area, they say that because of malnutrition, there is no menstruation, and the girl will be married. And then even after that, because they don't have a uterus inside. And that's why there is no egg production, there is no menstruation. And when we do, how we confirm this, there is a loss of, see, these are all the human chromosome. They are microscopic. But now we took the photograph and we have enlarged this. And all these bandings, we are induced the banding. So they don't have any banding. But for our identification purpose, we did this. And here, loss of one of the X chromosome. Here, this is one from father, mother, like that. 23 pairs. 22 are autosomes. One pair is a sex chromosome. In females, I told you, females must have 2 X chromosomes, but here it is only 1. So this is a Turner condition. How the confirmation is done? They go for a chromosome test. And thereby doctors, they say, or the genetist will say, there is a loss of one of the X chromosome. She's a Turner. She never developed menstruation because there is no uterus, no ovulation. And even though married also, she's a sterile, infertile, like. And similarly, in the men, along with XY, if sometimes they have an extra X chromosome, XXY, XXXY, like that. So this is also common. Out of 1,000 birth babies, one baby might develop. This is the prevalence, and this is the chances are there. And here they look like a female. They develop the breast. It is called as a gynecomastia. And when you see the body structure, it is like a female only. And there is a pubic hair and very slender fingers and all these things. Body structure itself, it is like a female. And this looks like a female, but this is a male. Why? Because they have a addition X chromosome. That's why they have developed the feminine character. And how we can confirm this? Final confirmation is only through the karyotyping, or the karyotyping means chromosome testing. So we can see there is a, along with XY, there is a addition X in the males. So sometimes triple X, XXXY. So severe clinical feature will be there. Similarly, we have a Jacobson disease. Sometimes some males are very psychic in nature, abnormal behavior, and they have, along with XY, there is extra Y. They have a very aggressive behavior, and other than that they'll be normal, they are tall, and they'll be okay, but extra why no, so that makes them normal physically, normal mentally, and they have a more that's a testosterone, this called quantity, more aggressive, all these things. So some psychic behavior also. So when we do the karyotyping, we can see that along with X and Y, there's extra Y chromosome present in those males. Similarly, poly X females also we have, along with 2X, they have one more X, 3 times, 4 times, like that. And they have abnormal, this one, stature. So they are, some of them fertile, some of them are sterile, and they are, the physique will be totally, they say extraordinary when compared to normal females. Many celebrities in Hollywood and Bollywood, they have a extra poly X female, but generally in human genetics, we can't reveal anything. Everything is very ethical. Identity of the individual or the report, we are not supposed to reveal, even though we knew the truth, but we are not supposed to reveal. There are many people with this poly X females, and they have an extraordinary outlook. That's how we consider. Sometimes they might have a cosmetic surgery, otherwise genetically they have a more X chromosome, and all this. And these are related to the sex of the individual. I told you there are chromosome meant only to determine, to maintain the sex of the person, and rest of the chromosome, it will take care of entire thing, respiration, digestion, and everything. All other activity of the body will be taken care by the rest of the chromosomes. So I told you, always the number must be proper. They shouldn't be any extra or loss. And probably you have seen this Down syndrome children. If you have had been visit to Aish, that is in the Manasagangutri campus, there is a all India speech and hearing. Lot of people are small children from throughout India, even from Kerala, Tamil Nadu. There are many from different states. They'll come here to take treatment for the deaf and dumb. They can't speak, they can't hear. Majority of them, they are Down syndrome children, mentally retarded, mental retardation, and abnormal body feature. They are short, stout, mentally retarded, protruded tongue, and they can't do anything themselves. Short stature, eyelid fold, there is a flattened face, and stubby fingers, and so many. We could easily make out. If you just go outside now, definitely I am damn sure that you have seen these children, but unable to identify what is this. So in even sometimes in the market, in the temple, sometimes you might have seen these children, and they are mentally challenged. They are not, no, we can't call them as a mentally retarded. They are mentally challenged. Okay, so you can see here depressed nasal bridge they don't have, and the position of the ear is a low set, and the distance between the nose, and all clinical feature itself we could make out that something wrong with the baby. And mental retardation, head is big or small, or sometimes the fingers are syndactyly closed, that is a fused or polydactyly extra finger, and cleft lip and palate. All these abnormal features are there. Mentally retarded main thing feature is, and these children know in the childhood they don't develop the developmental milestones. The developmental milestones means all children, every children at certain time, they should show some feature. The baby should after 3 months, it will recognize who is known or who is unknown. Unknown person, if they carry the baby, it will cry, it will recognize mother, it will recognize father. Then gradually it starts telling a few words, mama, papa, like that it starts. Then it starts crawling, then it will start sitting and stands like that. Gradually it will pick up. And if the child won't develop these things, and even it will recognize the colors, bright color it will recognize, and it will respond for the sound. And you can see how the development happens. And there's a developmental milestones. That means the child must reach these milestones at definite time. If there is any delay, immediately the parent should pick up the things. If the baby is not responding, if the baby is always silent, if it is not responding for anything, then there must be some problem. Immediately they have to go to pediatrician and tell the problem. Otherwise what happen? No? Immediately if they pick up the problem, it is very easy to manage the condition, very easy to treat the thing. Otherwise, if you make a delay, then definitely it is very hard to handle the situation. That's why always parents know they should nowadays know they put photos in social media, taking photo. Other than that, they should observe the activity of a child. So what is the child doing? Whether it is picking up the things, it has to, whether it is standing or crawling, and it has to invert, all those activities, no, it has to. Otherwise, definitely 100% the baby has some problem. And here, see here, the chromosome, all chromosomes are 2 in number. Here, 21st chromosome is 3 in number. A small, tiny chromosome is extra here. That's why we shouldn't always we pray, no, God, that give this, that extra. But extra always, it is not healthy. Especially with reference to chromosome, extra chromosome is always unhealthy condition. This extra 21st chromosome causes this Down syndrome. This is the imagination. Always, all parents know, they'll imagine that their children has to go to IT corporate sector with a tie, file, all these things. But it is the imagination of a parent with a Down syndrome. They can't. Even 20 years also, they'll be depending on the parent. Then every activity, it will be assisted by somebody else. So it is because, and why I have to focus on this, very, very important. Please pass on this message. No, this talk, it is just giving some awareness, because not related to, even though for education, the message, everyone should know all this information. That's the point why I am focusing on this. So here always, in developing all these genetic condition, especially chromosomal disorder, it is directly associated with the mother age. Female age has a direct association in giving birth to abnormal children. So here in this chart, even when the lady age is 20 years, the chances of giving birth to abnormal children is 1 in 2,000. Out of 2,000, hardly one person might give birth to abnormal. So as the age increases, the chances are more. And when she is 45, 1 in 30, the chances will increase. As she ages, the chances of giving birth to abnormal children will be more. That's why we generally know, ladies, especially girls, they'll postpone their marriage, they postpone the issues. So first of all, they want to settle, and they mainly focus on the career. Then all these things, once they are through with the thing, then only they plan for the baby. By the time, if the age is more, the chances are very high that they could give birth to abnormal. The parental age is directly associated with in giving abnormal children, especially female. There is a reason why females, not males. The males, the sperm, production of sperm, it is after when they reach the adolescent age, the puberty, then the male will produce sperm always. Okay, it is not stored, it is not produced and stored, it will produce always. So if they want to have a baby, then if they have to keep their good diet, lifestyle, all these things, hobbies, then they will produce healthy sperms. But not in case of females. Female eggs are produced and stored in the fetal condition. When she is in her mother womb, by that time, the eggs are produced and stored. And when she reaches this menstruation, for example, nowadays you must be knowing menstruation, that puberty is preponed in children. So 10 years only they develop the menstruation, 8 year, 10 year, 12 year. Earlier it was 14, 18, 16 years because of lot of variation in the hormones with the consuming lot of non-vegetarian diet, poultry food, all these things. And that's why there is a impairment, a lot of fluctuation in our hormone profile. So that is, there's a preponement in the menstruation. Here what happened, during menstruation, she will produce eggs, and the eggs are produced already when she was in the mother womb and stored. And every month, one egg will be released. And which egg has to be released? 30,000 eggs are stored. And when she reaches the menstruation, by the time 3,000 will be remaining. The rest of them, they undergo degeneration. And out of 3,000, one egg will be released every month. So, and first come, first serve. Always good eggs will be produced first, and the not good quality, they'll be lagging behind. So when she reaches 40 years, 35 years, by the time all her good eggs are exhausted, whatever she has, they are abnormal with a lot of genetic deformities. That's why getting married after 30 years, having children after 30 years is risky. There are chances, they are in a higher risk. The chances of giving birth to abnormal children increases as they age. But you can pose a question that why celebrities, they know they marry late and they get a healthy baby. How is it possible? It is possible because they will undergo prenatal diagnosis. So they will consult the doctor come genetist, the doctors whom they consult now from sophisticated multi-speciality hospitals. The gynecologist is much aware about the genetic component. So when they approach them, if they are aged, then they'll ask them to go for a prenatal diagnosis. So whether the fetus is normal or abnormal, in the first trimester, first 3 months of the pregnancy, they will identify. If there is any abnormality in the baby, then they'll ask them for this abortion or the termination. So, but we don't know how many abortions they have undergone. And what we see is a tip of iceberg. So what we see beneath, there is a mountain of ice, but we don't know. We can see only the tip of iceberg, and we'll be thinking, oh, she married at the age of 40 and she has a healthy baby. Why can't myself? No, it is not possible. The risk increases as they age. So I explained this, and not only female has a more impact. Female age has a very strong association. Even father's age, father exposure to teratogen also increases the risk of abnormal kids, because no, sperm takes 72 hours to mature. And during this period, if the sperms are susceptible to malformation due to environmental exposure, the toxins, alcohol consumption, smoking, and that's eating food outside, junk food, coloring agent, preservative, if they exposed, and some teratogens, then naturally the quality of the sperm will be compromised. And when such sperms are fused with the healthy eggs, even then the children will be abnormal. And anomalies caused by environmental factors, this is, I just wanted to focus the drugs. And during pregnancy, the female is not supposed to take anything, not even Dolo 650, no paracetamol, nothing she should consume, because we don't know at what point of time the drug will inhibit the development of the fetus. During the pregnancy, the development, that is the development of the organs, the development of the brain, the development of the eyes, all the things will happen properly. And if the pregnant female consumes some drugs, then definitely we don't know at what stage it will inhibit the development. Even vitamin A has taking vitamin A is also dangerous. And without a doctor prescription, they are not supposed to take anything. No self-medication is permitted during pregnancy. Chemicals like PCB, methyl mercury, alcohol. PCB is very, very common in that is a plastic. Okay, so plastic has a bisphenol A, bisphenol B, phthalate, and dioxin. These are all the chemicals present in the plastic. those things make the plastic transparent and durable, all these things. When you preserve food in the plastic, when you keep water in the plastic bottle, if it is exposed to heat, that is sometimes know what happen, we store water in plastic bottle kept in car. Then if it is exposed to heat, then naturally the chemicals in the plastic will leach into the water. Similarly, when we take the parcel from the hotel, the plant, that is the chemicals, all these things, dioxin, bisphenol A, bisphenol B, phthalates, all these things will leach into the food, either to sambar or even idli, how they prepare outside. They put a plastic sheet and prepare idli because they want a smooth surface for the idli. But they are making the that is a mixing up of these chemicals or leaching of the chemicals with food. So without this basic knowledge, what to eat, how to eat, where to eat, then we definitely compromise our health. So this causes, increases breast cancer, and lot of it induces abortion, it induces abnormality in the children, and so many other things, causes infertility. Similarly, infection, rubella infection, cytomegalovirus, herpes, toxoplasmosis, syphilis. So hygiene is very, very important for females. If there is any infection, then definitely the infection in the females will pass on to, it will move into the uterus and it will harm the baby. And toxoplasmosis, it is the infection from the protozoa and caused by cats. Even pets will transmit many diseases. So always know domesticated animals like cats or dogs or whatever, even pigeon. So always we have to keep some distance, even though they are domesticated, but too much of interaction, too much of thing with the pets is also dangerous. So we don't know what pathogen they carry when they consume. After playing with the pets, no, if you don't wash your hands properly, if you consume some food, sometimes it happens. So then naturally it will get inside, it causes infection that damages the developmental stages of the baby, and finally the baby will be having some abnormality. Maternal factor, if the mother is a diabetic, definitely it will affect the baby. And if the mother has a thyroid problem, definitely it will have a impact on the baby. And anything, maternal factor definitely has an impact. So this is a thalidomide. This is the drug given. It is a sleeping pill. Generally, this is a magic pill for the insomnia. Insomnia is not getting the sleep. So what happened in 50 years back in the entire Europe, doctor prescribed, gynecologist prescribed this drug for the females, pregnant females. So because the pregnancy, they develop that is early morning sickness, that is nausea, vomiting, all these things. So to stop that, you must be knowing the Westerners are very sensitive. So even they can't tolerate giddiness, vomiting, all this nausea. But Indian context, they tolerate this pregnancy sickness. But what happened? They prescribe these drugs and they have consumed. And after that, when they give birth to baby, see the fate of the babies. Abnormal, no development of limbs in the children. No, mentally they are fine, but it has inhibited the development of the limbs. Organogenesis has been inhibited. See, these are the fate. In the entire Europe countries, all of a sudden 50,000 children born like this. It was a shocking for the gynecologist and everyone, scientists. How come? Why such things happened all of a sudden, like outburst? Then when they traced back, then they found that the thalidomide drug, it is a teratogen. There are a lot of teratogen in our surrounding. That's why pregnancy is a very, very sensitive period. All 9 months, they are not supposed to take anything outside, no outside food, no street chat, no junk food. Like that, they have to maintain, because we don't know what causes, what inhibits the development of a baby. It might damage the brain, it might damage the eyes or hearing or whatever. Don't know, we can't anticipate anything. So they have to be very careful during pregnancy. And radiation, It kills, it proliferates the cell, causes cancer. You must be knowing the post effect of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Till now, the children born in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they have some one or other abnormality. They found that a lot of recurrent pregnancy losses, infertility, not only in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, even in a Kasaragod district, because of the exposure to endosulfan. Endosulfan is a pesticide. It was sprayed for the banana and cashew, and that has leached to groundwater. It was in air. And pregnant female who have inhaled or who drank, those who used the water, they develop lot of the children with a lot of abnormalities. They are not at all normal. Mental retardation, no development of the organs, and lot of those. That's a disaster in the Kasaragod district. It is because of they are all teratogens. They causes developmental problem. There is a microcephaly. I told you head is very small, very tiny, sometimes no head. Spina bifida, cleft palate, lip, all these things. So there are single teratogen or multiple teratogen. Even exposure to alcohol, it causes a physical malformation, growth retardation, mental retardation, etc. And environmental teratogen, methyl mercury pollution. That is a pollution found in the fishes. And that causes a neurobehavioral defect in the children. Lead poisoning. Lead poisoning is very common nowadays because all ready to eat food, that is the tin, they put a epoxy covering that is with the lead. And females during pregnancy, if they use some cosmetics, cosmetics are mixed with lead. So when they lipstick or the nail polish or the eyeliner, when they gets inside, it might cause some damage to the developing baby. So, and even pipeline, water pipeline, they have a lead coating, even that leaches into the water. So that causes a lot of mental retardation, all these things. Lead poisoning is very common. Earlier, they used to put a paint with the lead in the paint. Now they have reduced. And social drugs, especially alcohol. And nowadays it is very common in a multinational company, they take alcohol, females take alcohol. So that really what happened now, when we take alcohol, in the liver, we have two enzymes. One is alcohol dehydrogenase. Anyone, when they consume alcohol, it goes to liver, the alcohol will be converted into aldehyde. That is a one enzyme. And there is another enzyme that will convert aldehyde into citric acid. So that is a detoxification process takes place in the liver. Next day, the person will be normal. If they consume alcohol whole night, the detoxification will happen, and next day, the person will be normal. This is everywhere, male, female, whoever it may be, the liver will take care of that thing. That's why the alcoholics, no, they finally end up with a liver cirrhosis, all these things, because overload for the liver. But what happens in the pregnancy, when they consume alcohol, it crosses the placenta, it reaches the fetus. But the fetus, developing fetus, doesn't have these two enzymes to detoxify alcohol into finally citric acid. So it will be in the fetal circulation, and alcohol is always dangerous. It will damage the neurons. Definitely, it is 100%. Don't trust anyone. Sometimes I have seen in a social media, and person they are making the video very viral, telling that drink alcohol with a salad, nothing will happen. Alcohol is alcohol. Whether you drink with a salad, whether you drink with a potato chips, whatever may be, alcohol will definitely damage. Okay, it has effect, it will damage, and more concentration, damage will be more, duration more, long duration, more effect, small, the effect will be small. Alcohol is alcohol, it cannot be amruta, nothing, because lot of videos I have seen, they say you drink with, you take with a salad, you take with this, nothing will happen. It will happen, definitely, it has to detoxify. So the social drugs are definitely alcohol or smoking. This is alcohol, fetal alcohol syndrome. It is abnormal baby. When you look into the baby itself, you could make out that the baby is abnormal. The clinical feature, the facial feature itself tells us that the baby is abnormal. the position of thighs, position of the ear, depressed nasal bridge. See the distance between nose and the upper lip and lower lip with the tongue. This distance is too much. This is called as an anthropometric measurement. Normal individual don't have this kind of a facial feature. Smoking also causes decreased birth weight, decreases the heart rate of the baby, and because of the carbon monoxide, more carbon monoxide always, it will cross the placenta and it makes the many cell death. So it is not good. You must be knowing this carbon monoxide. It is very dangerous. Now there is a leakage. You heard about a gas geyser syndrome. It is an upcoming problem. So they use a gas geyser, and if there is a leakage, it is a carbon monoxide, they'll collapse immediately. Okay, so the carbon monoxide, it crosses the placenta and it will damage. Increased spontaneous abortion is very common when they go for smoking, alcohol. Increased perinatal mortality, the children will die. Increased hypersensitivity activity of the baby. Children, mentally they are not stable. They have attention deficit problem. And all these things, they were not knowing why the child is like that. It is because of the environmental impact on the pregnant females, either male or female. Finally, it will contribute to the baby. And caffeine, there are a lot of controversial things. Some research says, but small quantity won't cause anything, but more of caffeine intake also has some problem. Illegal drugs, naturally, cocaine and other things causes, definitely they have a very bad impact on the this one, gestation and birth weight, placental obstruction, bleaching happens, and increased hypersensitivity because reduced oxygen supply. The baby may not get sufficient oxygen supply. All these are the abnormality. Even not only this, even if the pregnant female won't, I told you 3 things are very important: our diet, lifestyle, hobbies. So these are the key things for our health. They are the 3 deciding factors which decides our health. So this this is because pregnancy, they have a deficiency of folic acid. Folic acid it has palak has very rich in folic acid. Green vegetable, they have rich in folic acid. Sprouts are rich in folic acid. And if they don't take vegetables, fruit, grains, sprouts, then naturally the baby is deprived of this. There is a malnutrition, avitaminosis, and this proper closure will not happen during the development. This extra finger, syndactyly, polydactyly, all these things. And such things could be identified through ultrasound scan. So this is chromosome, extra chromosome. Now I told you all chromosomes are 2 in number. Here there is a increase in the chromosome number. 13 chromosome is increased. These are all the chromosome when we see through microscopes. These are all abnormal, lot of abnormality. Abnormal children. It is because of the maternal factors. That's external factors which always has an impact. Babies with all these are abnormal children. This is and how to overcome. I told you these are the very common, and who are all susceptible. Because if the person is the lady, if they are 35 or older, and when the baby is due, these are the risk factors. They have the higher risk factor that they could get abnormal child, and there is already family history of birth defects. Already such things happens in the family. Family history is very, very important for everyone. Everyone should know their family history. You have to put your family history, that is called as a pedigree chart. You should always cross check how many are alive from maternal side, paternal side, from father side, mother side, and how many died due to what disease. And in some families, cardiac disease is very common, and some family diabetes complications, some family cancer. So, and always we should cross check in our family, which is predominant one, which is more common. So then that indicates that all others are, I'm sorry, some of them are, there is a cross talking, please stop. Otherwise, it will derail my narration. Okay. I request the participant not to speak. Okay, so we have to cross check whether there are any deaths in our family and what could be the reason for the death. Cardiac arrest, 2-3 cases of cardiac arrest, all the family members have a great threat. They are very prone to develop cardiac problem and easily. If you don't stop, I'll stop at this point, please. And any cancer deaths in the family, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, lung cancer, for relative, even grandma or aunt or somebody else, definitely all the females in the family are, they are, the risk is more when compared to others. You please finish off your conversation, then I'll speak.
Virendra Kumar, your mic mute.
Shall I proceed? Okay.
Yes, madam.
Already, if they have the first child is abnormal, then the chances are very high that even they could give birth to abnormal children. That is the second one also. So these are all some of the things where they need to undergo prenatal genetic testing. It is very, very important. They are not supposed to take any chance that already one baby is abnormal, second one will be blessed with a normal. We can't tell. There is a risk always. The probability of getting abnormal baby again will be more. Okay. So there are chances always. That's why this prenatal diagnosis is very, very essential. And there are different types of prenatal diagnosis, invasive and non-invasive. Non-invasive means they don't disturb the people. So what do? They just do ultrasound scanning and check whether the developing baby is normal or not. That is just through ultrasound scan, they could pick up a lot of things. Other than that, that is a non-invasive. And even they do the blood test of the mother and they found that there are some markers, biomarkers. This is in the blood, in the serum, maternal serum, mother serum. If there is any increase in the alpha fetoprotein or human chorionic gonadotrophin, unconjugated estradiol, these are all the hormones. If there is any increase or decrease, they could identify whether there is a problem with the developing fetus. So otherwise, they can go for a prenatal diagnosis like amniocentesis. Amniocentesis means around the baby, there is a fluid in the uterus called as amniotic fluid. That is, it acts as a shock absorber. And there are fetal cells present in that fluid. They collect that fluid and they take the cells, they make the cell culture, increase the number of the cells, then they do chromosome testing and they got to know whether the baby is normal or not. That's the one thing. That is during pregnancy, in the early pregnancy. Then if the baby is not normal, doctor will say them, baby is abnormal, go for termination, or it is left to the parent. If they want to have a baby, they can have. If they want to go for a termination, it is a legal. Abortion is legal here. And chorionic villi sampling. Other than that, it is how. Okay, so this is the amniotic fluid. It's the fluid around the baby. They take the fluid and do chromosome preparation. And then the chordosynthesis, 1 second. I'll show the figure. This is the amniotic fluid. They draw this fluid and they prepare the chromosomes and they can make out. And chorionic villi sampling, they take the chorionic villi in the uterus and then that will be cultured. They prepare that. It's a very lengthy process. It is not easy, as I am telling. It is a very difficult process. Genetic testing is very, very sensitive, expensive also. And they prepare the chromosomes. They found whether there is a abnormality in the baby or not. So similarly, chordosynthesis, cord blood they take, and all these things are guided by the ultrasonography. So it is highly monitored through catheter they take, and it is monitored very well. So karyotype means chromosome study, and they prepare the chromosome, they check the chromosome, check whether there is a normal or abnormal. If abnormal, they will give the report, and depending upon that, the counselor will tell them that these are the problem and whether they can go for termination or return finally. So it is left to the thing. So this is the normal 46. Always we should have a 46. More or less is abnormal disease condition. See here, extra is a disease. Even we could make out that from the single cell, when sperm and egg, when they fuse, then they divide 1 into 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, like that. We can take out only one cell, remove the cell from diagnosis for human embryo. This is the embryo. They just take one cell, and the cell will be cultured, and they can test whether the entire baby is normal or not from one single cell. Okay, such things are, lot of such information is available. It is available to everyone. Thereby they can make use of this information, and they can have a holistic health, physical health, mental health, social, spiritual, all these health they could have. So finally, how they can manage with the environmental thing, dietary modification. Always our diet should be balanced diet. Okay, so it should have a carbohydrate, proteins, vitamins, trace elements, minerals, all these things. Our diet should have all these components, because each and every one is very, very important for us. So always we should go for a lot of vegetables, fruits, greens, sprouts, etc. Tender coconut, buttermilk, all these things. Okay, and we should avoid junk food, because you must be knowing all junk food. There are 3 poisons. One is a salt, sugar, and the maida. All these 3 things will kill our health. So because they are all processed. So a lot of chemicals are used to process these things. So thereby when we consume, even oils also, if it is highly processed, if it is a saturated fat, lot of vanaspati, then definitely it has it causes cardiac arrest. You have seen a lot of people. And even all these 3 things I told you, lifestyle and diet and hobbies. Hobbies are very, very important. You must be knowing. And nowadays you have seen there is a lot of things. Youth are going for a gym, and they take energy drink, and they take a lot of the steroids to develop muscle, to be more muscular. But anything, it shouldn't be in a shortcut. Always, even if you want to reduce the weight or reduce or increase the weight, it should be very, very gradual process. You take 1 year or 2 years to reduce the weight or to increase the weight, no problem. Let it be 2 years or 1 year, no problem. But it shouldn't be shortcut, not drastic, because entire our physiology will collapse. Hormone profile will completely alter. So dietary modification, I told you, lot of all these vegetables, fruits, now they have a lot of antioxidants. Antioxidants are the one which will scavenge, which will detoxify all the toxins. So if we are devoid of vegetables, fruits, greens, then naturally there is a accumulation of the toxins in our body and causes all this health problem. Dietary, along with that, physical activity is very, very important. Whether it is yoga is the best, because always there's a cooling period in yoga. After one exercise, no, there's a cooling, and always we concentrate on breath, and no other exercise gives importance for the breathing. So always physical activity associated with breath. Only the thing is a yoga, meditation, and such things are very good for physical health. And for mental health, we should be very social. We should always have a gratitude attitude, and we should thank everyone. We should donate. These are all the components comes under the mental health. So I don't have a time. Otherwise, I could focus only on physical health, mental health, social health, and spiritual health. So if the person is a spiritual, if he has a spiritual health, naturally he will be having the social health. If they have spiritual health, social health, 100% mentally, the person will be stable. And if the person has a mental health, then naturally physical health, automatically these are all associated with the thing. Now, because of the stress is the main culprit to develop obesity, diabetes, PCOD. You name any disease, it is because of stress. One of the component. Why so? During stress, there is a release of cortisol. Cortisol, once it is released, it is like a dawn. When it is in the front line, no other hormone will secrete during that time. All other hormone will silent. They don't secrete. So we need growth hormone. We need all kinds of hormones for the normal, regular day-to-day normal activity of the body. But once the cortisol is in the front line, no other hormone will secrete. It will make the suppression of all the hormone. So the person will end up with a lot of health issues, complication. That's why now all the diseases are called a psychosomatic disorder. All these things are because of the stress. And I used to tell always this refresher course should be in the physical mode. I never wanted the courses on the online mode, because what happened now? So physical mode, it is not only refreshing, updating your academics, it is a refreshing for your physical body. Mentally, you will be refreshed and you interact with all your peer group, your colleagues. That's a social health. And all these things, finally, at the end of the course, you will be having the holistic health. But unfortunately, we are forced to do online. We wanted this offline, but it's unfortunate thing that we didn't get much applicants offline. That's why I am not happy with online mode, because I have seen lot of disturbances and one-to-one interact. Not only this is academically, you will be knowledgeable, you get more information. Other than that, once you are away from your college, away from the family, completely you will be refreshed. You need such a relaxing thing, because now you are doing your department work and college work. Along with that, you are doing this is not the proper way of refreshing the physical body. So this environmental adoption, all these things are very important. Gene therapy, still it is in the trial, but with the dietary modification, environmental adoption, that's a hobbies, lifestyle diet, definitely we could have a sound health and sound body, having a sound mind. So definitely the sky is the limit when we have a holistic health. So with this, thank you for your patience hearing, and any clarification or any questions, feel free to interact.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, madam, for presenting in depth, in detail. I went back to the 2001-92 when I was pursuing the MSc Zoology from Gulbarga University.
Okay.
I recalled those days in listening from your words. Only one doubt, I don't know whether it is doubt or religious, that one. When the twins are there, the first baby is healthier than the second baby. In normal probability cases, whether is it because of the genetic factors or the feeding process of the I don't know, I'm not clarified about this one. I want to clarify.
Yeah, I got it. So here there are two kinds of twins. One is monozygotic and dizygotic. Identical and non-identical. Identical means complete genome, because after that's a fusion. Egg and sperm will fuse, no? After that, it will split. So they have same exact genetic component. Okay. So there is a non-identical where two eggs will fertilized with two sperms. They don't have any similarities. It may be one male baby, one female baby, or both male, both female, but completely there is no similarities. Even their character, no similarities. But this identical, because the genome is identical, if they are brought up in the same environment, their behavior will be identical. If they are brought up in two different environments, their behavior will be different. That is nature and nurture. because even though the environment, that is the genome has the same thing, but how we brought up, you are familiar with the story of a sadhu. There is a
Yes,
two
madam.
parrots separated.
Parrots, yes, sir.
Parrot,
Amar Chitra Katha,
from same mother, but one with the sadhu, and it has
yes,
a
sir.
very good culture, and one with the daku, always it would stay. There is a something come, you can loot them, all those things. But here, well, you asked a very genuine question. What happened earlier days, even though it's a twin birth, it was a home, at home they used to deliver. They don't have the hospital facility, and it is a birth and death question of the mother. Sometimes the mother survive or the baby survive. What happened during this process? The first baby will be getting more oxygen, easily it will come out. The second baby will suffer, and if there is any delay in getting oxygen, because what happened, once there is a displacement through placenta, the baby will be getting the all oxygen, everything supplied. If it detaches during that short period, if the baby won't get oxygen supply, then the neurons will die. That's a major damage. You must be knowing damage in any other part of the body will be recovered. But neurons, if the damage, it is a problem. That's called as a hypoxic condition during delivery. That's why even during labor, without any C-section, sometimes there are problems that if it is not through proper doctor, gynecologist, if there is any delay in coming out of the baby from the mother, the duration is very, very critical. So many things happened. I have seen a lot of cases wherein the duration of the baby coming from the uterus of the mother, the womb of the mother, if it is delayed, it causes damage. So that's how first baby will be no problem. Her second baby, if there is any delay, it has to happen earlier. Now there is a C-section. Now they take both the babies one after another, not much problem.
Okay, madam.
Hope I made
Yes,
the
and then even psychosociological factors also impacting on the baby.
Yes, sir. I told you, because with this one short duration, I couldn't cover everything. Now I told you there is a concept called epigenetics. Epigenetics now it is really, you heard about earlier days. There is a Garbha Samskara. Now, why all such things are doing in our tradition? Always I salute to our culture, because now we don't know the scientific background, and simply we are following the Western thing, but it has a history of thousands of years. Why they follow such things? If you just dig out what could be the scientific basis, definitely we'll get the answer. But we are really unfortunate. We don't have the patience to dig out what is the science behind. Why they have to do the Garbha that all these things, 7th month, they used to do the Simanta, and lot of rituals they'll be doing to keep the female happy always. You heard about the story of Abhimanyu. You heard about the story of Hiranyakashipu. No, even though the genome of the Prahlada is from the Rakshasa.
Yes,
demon. The genome is demon. But he brought up in a very good environment because that Kayadu was taken by the Narada. That story was that always she used to hear the good things, and the baby completely, it is a change. That is epigenetic.
And even when Krishna is going along with Subhadra in the chariot, they're telling about
same thing.
entrance.